Hello friends and welcome back to the channel. I have got some more goodness from the community to share.
This is why I love this community.
As well as another new pre-war Hall of Fame pickup to add to my list.
Another one already, huh? Another one already, huh?
So stick around. Hello friends, I am John and I am a 3D 80s kid. To start off, I was the big winner of Scott over at Stuke's Baseball Cards and Curiosities' most recent VR contest, where we were talked about our experience getting an autograph from some kind of athlete.
Ed just wanted his autograph. You want an autograph? Here's an autograph.
And I talked about the story of my first baseball game and my experience with Glenn Hubbard. So check out that video if you haven't seen it. I'll put the link up there. But this awesome prize that I won arrived in the mail, and it all starts with this one right here, which is Scott's custom card. Awesome, Scott. Good to have that to add to my YouTuber collection. And along with that, I've got a Kung Fu card from the TV series with David Carradine from the early 70s. Used to watch reruns of this, it seemed like every weekend with my dad.
I love Kung Fu.
Show about a guy who was supposed to be half Chinese and was in the Old West and had various adventures fighting bad guys. So, and then here I've got a card of, here it says Larry Crabb. He is better known as Buster Crabbe, and this ends up being from a 1934 Peerless card, and it actually has a stamp on the back that is dated February 2nd of 1935 on the back of that, so that's kind of cool. But this guy was actually started as an Olympic swimmer, won a bronze medal in 1928, and won a gold in 1932 Olympics. And that then was the launch of his movie career. He ended up playing a superhero. At the three biggest daily comic strips of the day, of the 30s, were actually Tarzan, Buck Rogers, and Flash Gordon.
Savior of the universe.
And he starred in a movie of all three different characters during the 1930s. Later in the 40s, he was actually in a bunch of westerns. So Buster Crabbe, learned a little about him. Up next, I got a 1961 Fleer wallet card, is what they called this set, of Mr. John Brody, who is possibly one of the, well, he's definitely one of the better 49ers, the my era. So with this being a 61 card, you see my little Niner run over here from my youth. But cool vintage football card here, and it's it was a hand cut type thing. As you see the dotted lines in the back, so cool card there. We've got Steve Carlson 1972 Topps, which is actually over in my case over there on my wall, one of those, so that's a cool card. I've got one of these, I forget what they call the set, these, I think it's a 65, they call it Gold Press, is that what they're called? This one is Carl Yastrzemski. I did not bother to collect the Willie Mays in this one, as they're really hard to see, the images. You got to tilt them just right in the light, so they just don't present that well, as far as when your whole intention is to display cool stuff on your wall. It's not something that presents very well in that regard. From far away, it just looks like a gold.
Let's go find the gold.
1957 Topps Minnie Minoso. Awesome, fairly new Hall of Famer there. Then I've got these 1949 Eureka stamp set of Ralph Branca and Bobby Thompson. The Giants win the pennant! The Giants win the pennant! There we go, with those cards there. And lastly is a cool coupon that would have come with a 1914 Fatima cigarettes.
Clip your coupons. Be a happy man.
Interesting item there that is one of the oldest things in my room now. So cool. Thank you, Scott. It was a fun VR to tell that story, and awesome prize. Thank you very much for sending that my way.
Thank you, Mr. Scott.
Up next, I have got another care package from one of the awesome guys in the community, one of my best friends in the community, as he is the only guy out there local to me that's also in the vintage collecting YouTube space. And that would be from Adam of Vintage Sanctuary. He sent me this gift that is enclosed in bubble wrap, and let's take a look at what he got here. Starts out with John. Oh, what a peachy first solo card. That should go well with the player run from your youth. The player run being Dale Murphy.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Dale Murphy.
And so peachy, is that OPG? Is that what you're saying here? First solo card would be 1979, as he was on 4 player cards in 77 and 78. He told the seller, I wanted this card to give to a friend, and my best offer was accepted. Clearly, I won the lottery because you happen to be the local vintage collector near me. And the more I get to know you, the more I realize what a great person you are. That is the same thing I feel about you, Adam. So, awesome. Looking forward to the 2024 national and local events. In the meantime, Adam, Vintage Sanctuary. I look forward to those as well, sir. So, let's take a look. I know this is always exciting when someone is opening their package on camera. It's so suspenseful.
The suspense is killing me. What do you got?
So, probably didn't do some editing in here.
You wish.
And here we go. Oh, yep, there it is. 1979 OPG Dale Murphy.
Nailed it.
That is awesomeness. That is my first OPG Dale Murphy card. So thank you very much, Adam. You are most generous as always. And this will go in a place of honor on my wall here. So
Thanks, Adam.
for my last item to show, I wanted to show one of the pre-war purchases I made during this last month leading up to the National. I kind of felt like during this time period there was a lot of people probably saving their money for the National.
Why would anyone do that?
And so the auctions were kind of going a little lower than they had been previously. And so I did make a few opportunistic purchases, this being one of them. And that is a 1928 Yuenglings Ice Cream of Bill Terry. And in a SGC 1.5, but the interesting thing I learned of this card once I actually had it in hand and looked a lot closer at the picture is I looked at that and I thought to myself, what is going on? That does not actually look like Bill Terry. And it's not. What I ended up finding is that the picture is actually of Zeb Terry, who would be more of a journeyman second baseman who played a decade earlier than Bill Terry. And this actual image appears on some food-related issues that came out originally in 1917, which I'll show maybe one or two of those on the screen here in my editing. But yeah, so I ended up with a Bill Terry card that is an uncorrected error that is not Bill Terry in the picture. So, but then, the other interesting thing of this whole set is that this Yuenglings, it turns out, unbeknownst to me, is still a brewery that has been in operation since the early 1800s. According to their website, they actually say they are the longest continuously operating brewery in the United States. But in 1928, they weren't technically allowed to operate as a brewery because of Prohibition. And so during that time, they started producing ice cream, and that is how we ended up with this Yuenglings ice cream set.
Where's the ice cream?
The ice cream?
It is a classification of the D50 card set here, where there's the Yuenglings, Sweetman's, Tharp, and one other one I'm forgetting right now, but 4 different ultimately distributors of this set that were all produced, and they just then have different backs on them with each company's advertising. And in this case, they say save these pictures. 1 ice cream novelty will be given for each picture of Babe Ruth. So you could, you think that's a good deal to trade your Babe Ruth cards for ice cream?
Absolutely.
Or if you want to, you can collect the entire set and exchange it for a gallon of ice cream, I believe is what that says here. Yes, 1 gallon of Yuenglings ice cream will be delivered free to the holder of a complete set of 60 different baseball stars. So, yeah, that seems like a fair trade now, right?
That'd be a pretty fair trade.
But nevertheless, I now own a Bill Terry card added to my Hall of Fame collection. So
on the list is on the list.
All right, everyone. Thank you again, Scott. Big thanks to Adam, and thank you all for watching my channel.
Can't believe you made it this far anyway.
And I will see you next time.
See you next time.